What is good, guys? We're gonna start in a little bit, so thank you for being here. Share the stream, like the stream, comment, leave your thoughts down below, whatever it is. Helps the channel a lot. We'll be back with you in a second. Brr, skra, kra, kra. good, guys? Let me turn down the music a little bit. What's good, guys? Mauro from Design Syndrome here. Glad to see you again. Gathered here on my YouTube channel. This is a space on my YouTube channel where I like to forget about trends and effects, all the stuff that comes and goes and lives at the surface of design. Really, here we aim to go a little bit deeper into the dark and train the core fundamental principles that I believe that, if developed, can really start to bleed out and nurture all areas of our creative life. So if you want to become a design ninja, you're at the right place. Welcome to a Design Dojo. How is everyone doing, my guys? Just here testing a new time for the streams a little bit earlier. Oh, my camera, wait, it's a bit. There, perfect. So yeah, my guys, let's go. New time for the streams. I think this like earlier time, I think it's a little bit better because these streams are that fall a bit more on the educational side. Maybe you need to pay a little bit more of attention. Maybe I'm demanding a little bit more of you than just like something that you can just passively watch, so maybe doing them earlier in the day, I figured, while you're working or you're in your more productive time of the day, then you're more in the same tune to really watch this maybe than when you're watching this, I don't know, like you're trying to tune off, and just enter your more relaxed state. So I think it makes a bit more sense to do this now, you know what I mean? Did you ever finish the motherboard posted? I see it in the back. Yeah, we made a show with a friend. We made like an exposition of original screen prints. So I made this original screen print. Like this is an screen print from that poster. It turned out really great. I really love it, and it was really cool. I recorded a lot of that process, so in the next blog that I make, I'm gonna show you that, because it was really cool, to go to a legit workshop and be there while they were printing it. It's been a while since I've been around the printing machines and the smell of the ink. You know what I mean? I think it's really amazing. I really love that. So yeah, in that video also I'll talk about, there is something really special about printing your work, and to be able to see it in this way, like printed in full size. There is something that's really, the computer, it's a pretty impersonal space sometimes, like you see your work in a certain fashion and you get accustomed to it. And when you print it in big format, it changes completely. You might have a piece that's I don't know, it's a solid 6, but when you print it out big, it changes a lot, because it commands a lot more of the space. So that's another thing why this assignment for the Design Dojo, the assignment 9, which is the type composition sketch, I rather you do it physically. I rather you do it printing out the words and making the collage, because when you see it in front of you, it changes. It's pretty abstract the way in which it changes, but I think the relationship that you make between the size of the elements, how you position them, it's much more natural and organic when you have your work in front of you. You know what I mean? And then with the time, like you learn to parse that gap when you start to work digital. But yeah, I feel like having your work in front of you is just the go-to move. You know what I mean? Where are you from, bro? I'm from Argentina, in Buenos Aires. I'm Buenos Aires-based graphic designer. Yeah, I'm still shaking from yesterday's match. You know what I mean? Like fucking Argentina. You know what I mean? How big canvas did you use to print out in good quality? This is a screen print. This is so the original. I remember, if you go to that stream, type as an image, like the stream. Oh, what happened there? Damn. So what happened was that the stream froze, right? And I had to capture the screen. So I actually ended up redoing the entire poster. I redid it again, traced it, and made it again, because for send it to print in screen print, I needed to up the quality a lot more, and that was a fucking blast. You know what I mean? But yeah, I ended up doing it again. The original poster is already up for the Patreons, that the ones that want to support the Design Dojo, you can already grab the original file for this. And this was one, and then I made the other. I made the exposition of entire Design Dojo pieces. So this was mine for assignment number 8, that was typography as an image. Highly recommend the assignment, but this assignment, that the one that we're doing, this is a second stream, just chiller stream, because none of you actually, very little people submitted more pieces for feedback, but I guess we are all going through a lot this week. We're in the middle of the year, I understand, but I'll take a look at some of the previous ones, and we'll just take a quick look at them. But this was one of the pieces, and the other one, this is one, and the other one that I made, where is it? And this was the other. Like, I don't know if you remember the first assignment, like we did the stain. I did this one. It's the stain. It's my entry of one of the stains that I did. And you see, guys, this is what I mean. You know, when we did the stain, the first assignment of the dojo, I'll explain a bit more about the dojo for maybe the new ones. But the first assignment was to make an abstract stain, just to go into the minimal expression we have of anything graphic. So before the line, before you can draw anything, the single most basic unit you can make is a stain, right? Because it has no shape, there is no preconceived notion of what it should look like. So you're able to play a lot more with it, you know? So this was my stain, right? And you can see, when you see it in this format, in a frame, you completely change how it looks and your perception of it, you know? So the work gains a lot more, like, you know, and presence, you know? So here it is. I love how this one turned out. And I have right there another one, but that one that I have there, it's a sulfite paper. It's the one that they use when the ink on the screen print gets too saturated and there is too much ink. So they use one of those to sort of unclog a lot of the ink and to discharge it a little bit before printing on the expensive paper, you know what I mean? Let me put that here. So yeah, that's what we have, you know what I mean, my guys? Thank you everyone for joining in. What do you think about this time of day, guys? Like, do you think this is a bit better for the streams, or you like it a bit later? I think this works better, right? Yo, my hair is a fucking mess, bro. Yeah. If you didn't have the followers and everything, how would you reach out to people to do posters? Will you make video or post on process printing your own designs? Yeah, I'll make a video about that. And if you don't have followers and everything, how would you reach out to people to do posters? I don't know what you mean. I mean like a portfolio, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll talk about that more later, for more towards the ending of the stream. You know what I mean, my guys? So if you have any questions, just sit on them till that part. For me personally, this is far better than previous time. Yeah, let's go. Amazing. So okay. Yeah, because I felt before it was more like optimized for the States, but for prime time, the States. But I feel it's better to do it more prime Europe, and then you have a bit earlier in the States. You know what I mean? And I guess from everywhere, people can watch at a more or less comfortable time. You know what I mean? Before it was more comfortable for me because I could do it at the end of the day. But now it's a bit more awkward for me, but I think it's better overall. Thank you, bro. These posters fit good in the background. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, my guy. Yeah, I'll make a video about printing your work. I'm preparing a blog also that I need to do, but that I want to do to show you a little bit about my day, how my day is, in an honest way, in an honest way of how a week of work kind of goes by. But yeah, just want to do a quick intro for anyone that's new that you just found this channel. My name is Mauro, aka Design Syndrome, and this is the Design Dojo. It's a space on my Discord that lives on my Discord, and the streams are supplementary to it, in which I like to give a quick feedback, explain the assignments, and I don't know why is it cutting off sometimes. And do quick feedback. Oh, can you hear me? It froze. One second. There. Yeah. I don't know why it's unplugging, but yeah. Sorry. The Design Dojo is a space on my Discord channel where I upload where we do graphic design assignments more catered toward the fundamentals, composition, hierarchy, training, all that really good stuff that will give you like a proper eye as a designer. I want to deviate a bit more from the tutorials and all those processes that you can just follow along, but they don't really teach you to see and to develop, the sensibility that you will need as a graphic designer or an artist. So these assignments are a bit more abstract, right? But they serve you much more in your training, you know what I mean? So if you want to join the Design Dojo, you're going to have the link down below, and from there the onboarding is pretty easy. But if you're new to Discord, take a minute to figure it out, but it's really cool. Let me just show you real quick, just so you know what I mean. This is the Design Dojo Discord, and here is the part where all the assignments. These are the ones that we'll be doing so far this year. This is the one for the current assignment. You just drop your entry here, and we'll be able to take a look at it. And the way that I like to think about this is just in a more learn design in a more communal way, because I feel that not even in doing the assignments, I feel like talking about it will give you much more, help you to develop your language in design a lot faster than if you're in your own echo chamber just churning out work by yourself. In that way, it's easy to develop a style, but it's also easy to develop a lot of bad habits, which they later are very hard to break out from. I'm telling you this because I went through that also. I dropped out of graphic design school. I had already a pretty good level, I was already doing work, but in those years in which I dropped out and I got like separated from my design community, local design community, my friends, things went well for some point, but at a certain point you reach kind of a like a ceiling. At certain point, what they say, like if alone you may go faster, but with a group you go further. So this has something to do with that idea, I guess, like just being on a space in which you can have discussions around design and outside of the context of social media, which is actually pretty contextless, because you're like just consuming work in the flick of a finger, not really paying attention to it. You don't know what was the main focus. So when we are trying to talk design around assignments, so there is a brief and what we're trying to go for, so you can use your feedback towards that, and that's a much more organic but actually like real way of talking about design, because it's how you're going to talk about design when you're on a team, when you're with a client. Nobody is going to talk about you about what you're making in the context of yeah, I like it, or yeah, I don't like it. Like it's usually based around something, right? So you need to have tools to talk about design in that way. And those tools, I don't like to get academic because it's not what I like, but it's a language that you develop a lot more, in the terms of what hierarchy means for you and what tension means for you. The different ways in which we understand all these things are the things that at the end make up our style. So yeah, that's the goal for the Design Dojo, I guess, to break out of the hacks and the tips and tricks loops. we're still gonna have plenty of that. I'm working on a tutorial now for the trace paper. I might show you a little bit of that at the end. That's an effect. But I can show you the coolest effect. You can grab the most badass I don't know, graphic design asset from my store, but quick plug there, you want to support Design Dojo, also you can grab a texture, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if you don't know composition, if you don't know hierarchy, if you don't know rhythm, if you don't know tension, if you don't know how to make a poster speak, no amount of nothing will make it good, you know what I mean? So let's go. Really dig your style. Be designing it from 17 years and now it's really cool, this type of challenge you create. Congrats, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I felt like it was missing like a practice based space, in which it wasn't like nothing, like there is a thread that runs through the community, then we can spark conversation, you know what I mean? The hottest question in the Q&A: when is it dropping? Okay, trace paper, it's dropping the next 17th. I'm committing to that. This 17th is gonna be dropping. So let's go. Not this weekend, the next weekend. Okay. It's done. It's pretty much done. But I ended up like going at it again. If anyone doesn't know, like I just have it here. Let me just show you real quick because this is crazy. Like this is what I have towards now. Like this is one of the layers. You can move it back, but the core idea is this one. Let me get rid of this layer. So you're gonna have anything, right? Here I have it in one layer, but you can have it in as many layers as you want. And then, right, you grab the action, maybe subtle texture, you press play, and automatically does the trace paper, right? And you can change the color. You can make it white, but if you make it white, you need to change the blending mode to normal, right? But let's leave it at a color like this. And then if you go to the styles, you can change a lot of the styles, maybe like that. And then you can come back and play with the feel of the bottom paper, of the trace paper itself. And then there is this action that homogenizes the entire thing. And then you can like really go crazy. But yeah, this will be dropping this weekend now, the next one. And then I also make a tutorial. I'll make a tutorial and show you how to achieve that effect for free, and I got some questions like why do I teach it for free if I also sell the template? You know what I mean? And it goes back to the idea that we were discussing before, and I think also sparked the idea of the dojo. You know what I mean? I don't want the products to be how do you say, like hermetic? Hermetic in the sense that you press a button and you don't understand how it works, right? I want to be able to explain them to you so you understand. So the way that I think about it is like with the template, with the action, I save you time, like I want to teach you how to do it, and then the action saves you time. But since you understand how it works, and I teach you how the layer setup works, then you can make it your own and you can really play and really make something crazier. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one click and it's done. I want the click to be something that enables you to make something more, right? And it's not the final step in which you go like and it's done, so yeah. Well, you have an account, you should be able to re-download. I don't know what bro was asking. Oh, somebody asked something about the store. You should. Yeah, I see my computer and I lost some of the assets I bought from you. Is it a way I can get them back, or do I pay for them again? Fully respect. You want to? No. You just reach an email to me into contact design syndrome and tell me the original email in which you bought them from, and I can switch the account. It's not a problem. We customer support at this point. Thank you, guys. Let's go. Oh my god. So okay, let's just take a quick look at some of the feedback. Design syndrome master enjoyer. Let's go. You sent me an email. Oh, okay. I'll check later. I check later, but I think I replied to everything. Yeah, send me one again. Do it now, please, if you can. Just to I know it's in the top. Perfect. So let's just quickly, guys, go over the just for shit and giggles. So let's just quickly go over the assignments brief. Type comp collage sketch. Type comp collage sketch. Right? 5 typographic compositions, only analog. You need to print in A3 or whatever format you can, and then make the collages out of the pieces. And this was to show you, like I showed this in previous stream, but what the hell. This was my desk like 15 years ago. Like I used to have all those typographic sketches on my wall, and I used to look at them every day, and I used to do a lot. I did like hundreds of these ones. Right? The point is to cut them up and to work like this, right? If you go to the previous stream, I did it live. I did mine live. Now I'm gonna try to do some digitally, but this is what we aim to do. You know what I mean? These kinds of compositions, and play around with page topology. If you make a double, like a magazine spread, and play with hierarchy, really in a really ludic way. Like, don't go super structured, and try to play to incorporate the idea of grids, and alignment to sort of relay certain parts of the composition, which, in the rules of typography, it kind of lends itself to work in that way. We correlate how we correlate things through alignment, right? If something it's aligned to another element, it usually means that it has something to do with it. You can see them here. There are some of you that did last year, and some of mine, right? And this is the brief. This is on the assignment board on the Dojo. And yeah, but the point is also to think about hierarchy. I think this one was from Carson. Can't remember, but it's not that it needs to be all the pieces about alignment and everything. You need to think about hierarchy. The idea was that make your piece scream, talk, and whisper, right? That was the mantra. I always go back to that idea: scream, talk, and whisper, scream, talk, and whisper. And that way you know that your piece has the depth, has the hierarchy levels to create some sort of tension and dynamism that will pull people in. Again, scream, talk, and whisper. If you see anything that is catching your eye, you can see that it has those elements. Scream, talk, and whisper. Scream, talk, and whisper, right? This one is creating a nice pattern, but this is a lot more refined, to try to find where the scream, talk, and whisper is. I think it's in the texture, right? In how the elements are laid out, right? Don't think about what it says about the content. Just think about form, of what it's. How are you organizing the information, right? Right. This is all done from cutouts that we did on paper, right? These ones are mine now, These ones are the ones that I did last year. That stream is also live. You know what I mean? But trying to be the goal is to try to be really purposeful with your movements and your decisions. You know, I like to think about operations. Like if you try to see a piece and you think, okay, what's the operation? Oh, this one was for a reel, I feel like, that I did last year. Very like abstract. Yeah, but it's not abstract. It's not abstract. It's I guess it's abstract for typography. You could say that, but I don't see it as abstract. It actually has a certain structure that you can see and you can feel, right? I wouldn't say it's abstract, but you are not going for legibility. You're just trying to find the structure and a rhythm that works within the collage, you know, to make it visually appealing and striking in some way, right? You see these ones, I like them because as examples they show you that they lack a little bit of that contrast, or no, you know, that clear decision of, okay, this is where I should look like, where I should pay attention, you know. So yeah, these are ones. And let me put Photoshop real quick. Let's do completely arbitrary. Either way, they're very cool. Yeah, thank you, bro. And these are references. Here are some for feedback that already saw on the Discord channel. These are from some of y'all guys. So this was an entire sequence. So I'm gonna judge these ones on their own. So what I liked about this set is that he really tried to do like the topologies, you know what I mean? Where this. Right? I started back from assignment 6. Cannot wait to do this one. Let's go. Let's go, my guy. That's really great. Yeah. I like it's nice if you want to start from the ones you missed, but I think it's better if you just go to the most current one, and once you make that, you go and make one of the older ones, you know, and then try to catch up that way. So it will take you longer to catch up, but once you close the gap between the older ones and the ones you already did, you're already up to date, and you are up to date with the most current one. You know what I mean? So this ones is like, for example, I can guess that this was the first one because here bro just started to play and to paste everything, but you can see there is a gesture at least of trying to say, okay, this is the main part of the image, right? Like this is the main thing. Where are my pencil brushes? Mm. So there is an idea here of this being the main point of the composition, right? And then maybe something around here, but then it's like a complete sheet of with everything melts together, you know. So it's lacking some decisions, and this can be fixed pretty simply. Sometimes it's a matter of taking away rather than to just keep adding stuff, you know. Because if I grab, for example, I don't know, let's just start. Like if I make this simple gesture of doing this, look, right? I make the simple gesture of doing this, right? It already becomes more interesting because we can see there was a clear decision and a clear intent, you know, behind the poster. Let me, right? And then we can make it more like, let's say I'm gonna grab these elements that we have here, right? And maybe I copy that and I put it on top of it, maybe like this. Right? And then maybe I grab this, The Witcher, the Wild Hunt, copy paste. And maybe I align it with this here on the top, like that. Right? And in that way, you create like a simple, clear gesture that you meant what you just did for the piece. It's not like you created a blanket, just a blanket decision and went with it, you know. Like you were trying to think of, okay, what's making this piece tick and how we can add elements that fall into a certain structure that give the piece some order, right? And here I'm doing it with the grid. Like I can align all of this stuff here. Maybe I can make this even smaller so we can play with that hierarchy and that rhythm. And maybe I put it here, right? And another thing that's cool is like, let's say I want to grab, I don't know, like these little things of text that it has here. Copy paste, and I'm gonna bring them, right? And I keep aligning stuff, right? But I already decided that the gesture of the page is that it's gonna be the bottom half, it's gonna be super crowded, and the top part is gonna be where the piece is allowed to breathe. So that's the decision. Minimal at the top, crowded at the bottom. And that's the gesture. That's the operation I'm looking for in the piece. That's gonna give it character, you know? So I align everything here, right? And then I go back to the Witcher thing. And one thing that is cool to think about is like, okay, this is establishing some sort of rule for the poster, right? That it's gonna be this vertical grid, this vertical line of alignment is gonna be the main thing that makes the piece, like it gives it its character, you know what I mean? But what is nice to do also is to think about how you can break that, because this creates some sort of like homogeneous order in the piece, which you can break. Like let's say I want to put the Witcher thing here. What happens if I break this alignment for this specific bit of information? That could be the title or could be whatever it is. Let's say I break it here. And I don't put it at the top because that could be a bit cliche, you know, yo, that's the title, I put it at the top. No, let's put it towards here. And we break the alignment there. There, you know? But now we're making it with a bit more purpose, a little bit more thinking about what we are trying to do in the composition with the piece, you know? We are not just mindlessly just pasting stuff, but we're trying to think, and it's not super complex, you know? That's why this assignment is good, because since the bits of information, the typographic arrangements are already pre-made, you just need to cut them up and think about where you place them, right? You don't need to think about anything else. So this assignment is really good to do a lot. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, I know, but this is like bench press, you know what I mean? Like training, you need to do a lot to grow exponentially stronger, you know? And this kind of assignments allow for a lot of that, allow for a lot of volume, right? You know, so you see, this was the original, and then a simple gesture like that, and it changes. But it's not mindless, like, guys, like, this is my way of thinking about it. Like, if I force myself to think about it, it's not like I'm thinking about it like that. Like, maybe now I'm doing for the stream, but when I'm working in this, it's like you know how DJs, like, they have the sync button, so they don't have to think about that and they can focus on other stuff. Like, there is a point in which this kind of stuff becomes like a sync button, you know. Like, there is a certain point in which you have it and you sort of see it and you move on and try to think other stuff, you know. This is a good assignment to get into that level, you know, into the level of it becomes more autonomous and more automatic, right? Yeah. And it is not always about grids, right? Not always about grids. I think he had one that was pretty good, or it was in the Discord. No, it wasn't from this one. I don't know where. I don't remember where I saw it. Let me see. Maybe it's on the references. For example, this one. This one, it is not about the grid. It is not about relating information. It's more about the texture and how you create the different hierarchy levels. It's like a stain. It's like a stain, but of typography, right? So in that abstraction, we need to sort of find where's the hierarchy, where's the focal point, where is the part more busy, and where the piece is allowed to breathe a lot more. But you sort of find it and you see it. Maybe you make 100 of these and 80 of them are trash and 20 are good, but you need to see them and have the quote unquote taste to say, okay, here there is something interesting happening, right? That's what I say. That's why I say these kind of assignments you need to do a lot of to sort of be able to spot that, you know, and to spot it and to say, oh, that's it. You don't become like super academic about it in the sense of like logically trying to turn in and be like, no, this works because the negative space creates a golden ratio. No, you know, it's like you see it or you don't, you know. But to train that, you need to do it a lot, you know. And certain things start to appear, you know, and you kind of see it. So yeah, this one, I love it. This one, you see, from here, we jump into this one. This has much more decisions made, and you can clearly see it just from seeing it. Like, I don't need to explain it, you know, like decisions were made, you know, and that's fire. That's the assignment. This is the assignment, you know, like you go full hog and to know when also to sort of retreat and to say, this piece is chill. And I love the sequence also because he made a lot. So in this context, maybe you have one. That's another thing. Like, it's not about, there is the decision in the piece, but it's also the decision in the context of the pieces. Because let's say I have that piece, but maybe the sequence was like this. Maybe these were the 3 pieces, right? And now you can see there is a decision in making this poster completely filled with text, right? This is what he originally gave me. So now it looks more arbitrary, right? But if I do this, and this was what he gave me, now I see a decision in making everything busy. You know what I mean, guys? So you can see he went really minimal, then he went like a more balanced piece, and then he went like, I'm gonna cover the entire thing. And in the context of the sequence of images, you see the decision, right? But since he did this, it's like, okay, there wasn't much of a thought of the sequence. Maybe it was a bit how do you say, accidental, but hey, you know, like, in the mistakes, this shit happens, and that's fire, right? That's another thing to think about, the sequence, you know. Once you go, okay, I made one that was really busy, maybe I can now make a more minimal piece. And this is the same for clients. Like, it's not like everything that you make. This happens a lot when you do systems, like a big system for a like for a client, you know, or something that, okay, you made a poster, you made a really great, really busy, really exponential poster, whatever, and then you have to make like a more satellite piece, you know, something like the VIP passes for an event. So, I mean, you try to make that killer, you make that, oh, this needs to be also super complex, and maybe in that part of the system it needs to be super chill and just be in line with everything else. It's not like everything needs to be the main piece, right? Like you try to let the system breathe in some parts, so the parts that need to shine. You know, this is kind of the same when we doing the sequence. That the sequence was not part of this assignment per se, but it's something that assignment 3 was the sequence, right? But the sequence is something that already we introduced it, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be present forever, you know. Now, every time we're gonna be thinking about the sequence, right? So that's a really important like assignment also. Let me know if you have any doubt, guys, like whatever it is. But also let me know if I'm being clear with what I'm saying, because there are some things that are easier to learn by doing, you know. I managed to get this stuff back. I clicked wrong first. Oh, okay, that's perfect, bro. Amazing. So, okay, this was one, this was the other. And just to make a simple, like a simple decision on this one, just to fuck around with it, but I think it's perfect as it is. I'm gonna make a duplicate. I'm gonna put it on a group. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This one I'm just gonna rasterize it, just to be able to like play with it. Just a simple like decision, like having this like so. Just moving it like here, for example, I don't know, something like that. Like we make the decision even more apparent and more obvious that we were trying to do, right? I love that he put it in the middle, right? But if we make it more extreme, more, you know, like that, and you could even make it more extreme, you know, maybe I grab this. Now I'm delving into another kind of territory, I know, but maybe I grab this and I chunk it really like that. And that also works, you know, and I'm just, what bro made was perfect, was amazing. I'm just showing you, okay, what can you do if you want to push it further, you know. I thought the assignments build on previous ones, that's why I started Exist. No, that's totally true. Like if you are able to make them all, they all correlate, because we are trying to add different stuff, different criteria, different elements and concepts. We are trying to do that, but it's also nice to be able to jump in without the previous baggage, right? Because just you'll make something different and you'll create a different conversation and a different take on the assignment. Maybe if you don't start it from the stain, you know, then you can do the stain and you can do it. The dojo will continue next year. We're gonna do it again, you know. Maybe I don't know if we're gonna do the streams, but I don't want to get too ahead on that, because the dojo, guys, is actually a lot of time, but I really like doing it and I think it's important, you know. But yeah, maybe you next year you can try again, or whatever. But I feel like if you're up to date, you can be in the conversation when everyone is in the latest most assignment, you know. But that's not an issue. Like if you want to do it from the start, that's better in its own way. Let's go. So okay, this was just to show like some decision. What I would like for this piece, maybe it's maybe, I don't know, let me grab from this piece. I want to grab these little blocks of text, and let's go to this one. And maybe I would grab this. You see how this alignment here that is happening, right? This alignment that's happening here. What happens if I grab this and I take it all the way to the top like that? Boom. You see? That's really refined. That's really, you know, it's like, ooh, a little something there. This is cool, right? Again, like what the Peace Bro did, amazing. I'm just trying to show you, okay, how I would do to give it an extra oomph, you know. Always think about that. Like, what's the decision that's making this design good? You know, what's the gesture that I'm using for this that I like? How can I make it more apparent, give it more protagonism? You know, this one I like. It's a bit scattered. Yeah, a lot of them I found are paid. Yeah, good fonts are paid. You know what I mean? Like, there is a bunch of free ones, and there is also like you can do a lot with free fonts. Good typefaces are everywhere because they are good. Don't fixate on finding the source. Yeah, yeah, that's good advice. So this one again, kind of same concept. You know what I mean? This is much more an exercise of on taking away. This one I like actually how it is. You know, this one I think is super good. And this one I like that he introduced some alignment that's how do you say, like oblique alignment, that I think it's super good. It would be like we would need to find where is the, like, here is something. Syndrome, if you could use one font for the rest of your poster, what would it be? Kind of interesting question. I think Helvetica. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if I could only use one font, I think it would be Helvetica. I don't think you don't need much more. Or maybe Impact. Impact could be. But like Helvetica, you can work it out to be, you can work it to be like a display font, and you can use it to write. I think Helvetica, like if it's not broke, don't broke. Yeah. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know. But I think that works. I want to try something with this. What happens if I like this little this thing that you did here. Let's see if I grab this. I'm trying to find what I need to take away to make this kind of work better. But I like this orthogonal alignment that he did. This is not perfectly aligned, so I think it's creating a bit of noise. Okay, maybe there is something here. This one I'm not sure, guys. I'm just making shit up because I can't find what is the, like, this that would make it, oh, this is the gesture, you know. Maybe I need to take this out. Yeah, maybe something like that. And let's duplicate this, put this on a group, rasterize this, maybe something like this, and we just need to grab this and like blow it up. Factorial multiply. No. No. Okay, this one's a bit harder to fix. Not to fix, but to give it, you know, to play around with it. Okay, now it has something kind of interesting. Damn, bro. There I kind of like it. You know, it's weird, but I think it works. But yeah, the other ones, I think work a bit better to illustrate the point, you know, that I was trying to make. What the bro saying? He didn't even think about Comic Sans. Yeah, or the Minecraft font. Let's go. Have you seen the Overset Text, the video that he designs a poster on Minecraft? Was he or from Elliot? I think he was from Overset Text. So yeah, that is one. This is one. And there was another one. Somebody uploaded something. This one. I have it here also. Was this one. This one I like because it has some solid decisions, but I think it needs to be a little bit more taken aback just to make it like perfect, but it's amazing. Yeah, I also, to be completely fair, like my first imperfect collage, like I don't get the imperfect collage, you know, it's a collage, it's part of the medium that it looks like kind of imperfect. So challenging for me. Let's go. Okay, having into context that this was the first like one that she made, that's even better. Like it makes more sense to me. It's like if you make a bunch of them, right? Make a bunch of them, and then it's easier to judge because you can judge the sequence, and in the sequence we can see better what's a decision, what's not a decision. So yeah, right now I'm gonna start rating like positively, even if you don't meet the brief, because I don't want to be that harsh, you know, I want to encourage you, but also like try to make the quantity that I'm asking for, you know. Because in the quantity also like appears, like when you start to do an assignment, usually the first most obvious decisions you're gonna make in the first couple of pieces, and then after you taking those out of the system, the really interesting, oh, I had an idea, are gonna start to appear, but you need to exhaust all your first moves, you know. So every time I see no dual oscillator, it makes me wonder for a few seconds. Non-dual oscillator, what does it makes you think about? I really like the name non-dual oscillator. I just think about it like non-dual oscillator is like a, what is it, like a knob which doesn't have two sides, like it's non-dual. That's pretty hard, bro. Introducing concepts in fucking Instagram name, bro. Mm. So yeah, it's here. So okay, let's just try to make a quick one digitally. You know what I mean? What makes a person take upon such a name? I don't know, but it's cool. Like, what makes a person pick up the name design syndrome? You know what I mean? I don't know what I was thinking, but it stuck and it's kind of cool. Okay. Is the volume okay? Yeah. Are you hearing the music? Or it's kind of low? There. So, I'm already tired. Like streaming, like fucking, like drains you, bro. Also, the awareness of the camera. Like, sometimes I don't get too accustomed to it. I don't know what I was doing. Oh yeah, let's do this. We go in deep thinking mode. Let's go. Okay, let's try to make now a digital one. So these are the type toolkits that you're gonna need to download. This is in the assignment board. You need to print this, right? And you see it has a lot of this stuff. Then you just need to cut and paste, right? So now what I'm going to do now is just capture the screen. Like I'm gonna capture the screen, right? And I'm gonna just grab here. Did you saw me capture the screen? I don't think you did. You know, I'm just gonna grab that and put it here. Right? So I'm just gonna do it in that way. What if you made your piece and you stress paper at the end just for fun and see how you get another what the fuck did I do moment? yeah, I was thinking about that. Actually, that's kind of hard. I think we can do it. Like, because if I grab this, because the way in which trace paper works, it will work. Because if I do this and I do like that, it's gonna create. Oh, that's interesting. What's that? You see that it's making like a color separation. That's kind of weird. Why is it making that, bro? You see that, guys? That kind of white bevel. Or maybe it needs to be. Unsaturated. But yeah, it has a weird halo, the typography. Like what I would need to do is to grab this and make a solid color on black, and then put this and invert it. And now if I do that, I get the proper one, right? And maybe if I grab this, for example, and I put it on the back, right? There you get like the trace paper effect. But let's not do that right now. Let's just make the composition first, and then we can maybe play with that, you know what I mean? But I don't want to add up like decisions and stuff that would hamper the assignment, right? So this PDF is hefty, bro. Okay, I like this one. Okay, let's grab this. Published. This. And let's just play. Okay, let's start this composition like this. And maybe I want to grab this word and I want to split it by the middle. Maybe like that. You see, and already by doing this digitally, I have to deal with the idea of resizing things and enlarging it and making it smaller. When you're working in pen and in analog, you don't have that because the paper it's already that size. You can't resize it, so you just cut and paste. You know, here I'm already thinking about about resizing. You know, right? Let's do two. I'm gonna do one very Carson, very like pictoric, and the other one more like Swiss or like I don't know, like more grid-like, you know. I'm making little cuts here in the typography. We want to draw this here. Like that works. Maybe you can grab this. I'm gonna capture the screen. Tell me, let me, guys, if you can see me capturing the screen. Like you see the dialog box that I grab, so you can see what I grab. Like right now I'm grabbing this top part and I will put it here. And since I'm on the computer, I can grab this and put it here, and I can leave it with the white box, or I can put it on multiply, right? And if I put it on multiply, it gives it that stamp effect, you know. Synexta, what's go, bro? How's everyone doing? Thank you for everyone that joined in the stream just now. Like, I can already see more participation, people joining in more at this time of the day. Did you provide all these pages for us to print out and make the collages? Yeah, bro. Like, I swear, guys, like, you guys do not read the brief. Like, here on the brief, you have it. Here is the type toolkit and everything. So here you have everything in the thing to do it, you know. This is one, but I guess we exhausted this one. Oh, here we have trace paper in real life. We're gonna grab. Oh, sorry. No. I like these little packages of text here. I'm gonna grab that and paste it here. Let's look for an alignment. Let's see if we can align it with this, you know, like that. I like this Brady, the magazine oversized format. I like that word, format. So, I mean, you don't need to think about what it says, right? You don't need to think about what it's saying. But there are certain words that are a bit more evocative, you know what I mean? Like, create a bit more of a response sometimes. Let's chop this format here. That's kind of good. That's kind of good. I ask a stupid question. Why not a bit angle? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we can do something like that. I actually like that suggestion because the next one we're gonna be a bit more. But let's do it like this and then angle it, you know. But yeah, you were completely right. You had pretty nice instinct there, bro. Like you're What do you train to be a design ninja, bro? Let's go. I'm watching the stream and cutting out the text. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Love to see that. Yeah. And also, guys, if you're working on the assignments, like share it on Instagram, like tag me on the stories, and I'll share it. You know, people will join in more if we can show that a lot of people are doing this. You know, it's a nice way to push back against AI and all the stuff. You know, we're getting people to do like collage, you know, and to train design in a more traditional way, maybe, you know, and that I don't know, it's a cool way of training this. And also there is this idea. I just recorded a podcast with an art curation page that's gonna be up next week, I feel like. And there was a thing that I forgot to mention, that we were talking about the Dojo, and we were talking about AI and all this stuff, like prompting. You know, when we are doing this, we are also prompting our work, but we are not prompting it with words. We are prompting it with action, with gesture, with moving our hands, with interaction with the tools. You know, that's also a way of prompting it and to bring it to life, right? And there is this idea that's inherent to how AI works and everything, that every idea can be prompted up just by thinking, you know, and by putting it into words, right? Because if you can prompt it, you can make it, right? That's the quote unquote idea behind the AI. Is like, but that way all creation and all interpretation gets reduced to written form, right? And written form as in thinking, this very logical way of thinking about it, right? If you can really see it and think about it and show it and talk about it, then you know it and you can make it. And that's not actually the case. Some ideas are the only way to conjure them up is by doing the motion in the arm. You know, if you have the taste and you have the skill to do it, you can do it, but that's the only way of doing it. You know, if you prompt it and you make it any other way, then it's not the same idea. It's not the same piece. It's not the same thing, right? Some ideas can only be danced. Some ideas can only be synced. Some ideas can only be collaged out of a pre-made set of text, you know? Can I join the Dojo if it will make all previous assignment, or is it too late? You can join any way you want, my guy. Like, just jump in the current assignment, jump in the later most, start from the beginning. It's completely free, I forgot to mention. If you want to support, you can become a Patreon. There is a bunch of really cool perks that those gets. But all the main thing, the Dojo, the learning, it's all for free. So yeah, here I'm just grabbing more little text here. I love little text. Little text is my guy, you know what I mean? Because it's a really cool way of adding, like, actually, let's do that at the end. Right, and this one, maybe I put it printing over, right? Maybe like that. Right, and here, right now, we are like kind of creating a texture, right? We are in the point of, we are just creating some sort of a texture. We are not really, right? Let's do this like so. This one, I'm gonna desaturate, and let's put it on multiply. Like that. You can't do that when working analog, but if you're working digital, like, make use of how it's digital, you know what I mean, bro? What else do we have here? Okay, don't think about it too much. Like, just see something cool, you just paste. Magazine woman's wear. It's never too late to fall in love, and it's never too late to do design Dojo assignments. That's so funny, bro. Right, and here we're thinking about that, you know, we have the big type, and then we have like a little subtitle there, and we're already like composing some sort of just idea, okay, of what's more important, what comes next, right, to build that hierarchy. That's all hierarchy is. what's the most important thing, and then how that trickles down in importance, right? And the rate by which that importance decreases or increases, it's called rhythm, right? It's the way that I understand it and the way that I can't like show it to you and sort of try to explain it to you. Oh, this one is nice, bro. It's already kind of already designed for me, but let's steal it. Let's steal it like that. Grab that, come here. That works. I want a bit of gray of text. I need a gray of text. I don't have here gray of text, but let me check the other ones. Oh, this one, it's actually a print from a friend. This is from Casiel. I think you guys know Casiel. And this is from one of his assignments for uni, or I think it was mine. No, I think it was him. This one was from him when we were studying, and I stole it from him, or I think I asked it for him. I think I don't remember really. And I used it for type toolkit ever since. So yeah, here you see this is already designed. Like there's a lot of information here, but let's just grab this gray of text here and just put it here, just to add another layer, of that fine text, that hierarchy. Put it on multiply, and you see if I put that there already, right, and I break it up, I'm gonna grab that here and move it, I don't know, like there, right? That is kind of cool, right? Like I like that it's forming kind of a cross, but for the cross I need to like that. And let's do what bro said. Let's grab this and do like that, and here you could go both ways. Like I could be like, this could be one piece, right? Let's make like this could be one, right? I think I want to try, it's like, let's grab just some little like extra information, right? This little block of text, and this little block of text, let's put it, I don't know, we could align it like there is a really big tension point here in the, like here in this part of the page, so maybe we can grab there, right? Like that's a really, or here, where do you say, guys, it's the most tension in the piece? Maybe there, right? So maybe in that point we align this here, and we can grab another and do it, right? Maybe grab this and like that, and we do it to the top, and we put it on multiply, like that. Maybe we grab this and we put it more towards here, maybe like that, right? Or maybe we go like that. That's actually crazy. That is actually crazy. Maybe like that, or there, if you know what I mean. That's actually crazy, guys. Like I love this composition. Like I feel we cooked so hard on this format. This is so good, I'm not even lying. What else we have here? Okay, Beautiful grid, by bro. But this is the kind of assignments that we had to do in uni, bro. Like, I'm gonna have you do something like this, right? This is pure like grid, you know, but understanding like information and what you're trying to put order to, you know. Here in this page, that this is from assignments of first year. This is first year typography, and you know what I mean? Like, it's very similar to what we're doing here, but with another layer of fucking depth, you know. What if we used composition grids and set tension points accordingly? What do you mean? Like a pre-made grid? I don't like pre-made grids, because you usually make the grid so it fits what the information you have, right? You use a grid to help you make decisions for you. You don't force decisions into a grid. You know what I mean? I like to make the grid as I go if I need the grid. Right? I don't usually make a grid, you know, like I start putting the elements, and at some point in the design it's like a grid starts to appear, and then I say, oh, okay, this grid makes sense for this piece because I have certain amount of information that I need, but I want that this part be the main point, so I need the grid to be able to accommodate for a big centerpiece. And that way you make the grid. It's like pre-made grids are usually pretty bland, because if it's made to fit every kind of piece, then it's not gonna be distinct. It's not gonna have something that makes you go, oh shit. And also, grids are not always orthogonal, you know, are not always like vertical. So grids can have lines, you know, or reticles. It's more a reticle than a grid, you know what I mean? I need to stop saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm working on my oratory, guys, so I'm gonna try to speak more slowly to get my points across and let the sentence kind of breathe, so you have time to think about what I'm saying. Let's go. Yeah, but we'll make something about grids more properly explained, but also I don't want to make a grids assignment because I don't really use them I don't make also that much editorial work or maybe stuff where I'll know I'll need it, you know. There was a recent client work that I used the grid for a deck, you know, but a deck is a very specific kind of piece that needs that order, you know. I don't use the grid for the same, for all differently in a systematic way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this piece is amazing. Now what I want to do is let's add a bit of texture to this. Let's add a bit of texture to this. How we're going to do that? Okay. Design assets, paper cut. Who here has the paper cut? Raise your hand if you have the paper cut. Nah, we like rapper syndrome. Let's do the transparent ones. Let's just grab a simple paper texture. There. Simple paper texture. Already is doing a lot. And what I want to do now, it's, let's grab this. This is one piece. Piece one. And I like to duplicate this. Merge layers. And let's add a filter blur. Gaussian blur. Like that. Let's put it on multiply. Also, what happens if I merge layers? Oh no. Oh, there. Merge layers. There, because I wanted it to get with the background. And now, since I have this collapsed like in a single image, I can grab this information and make a solid color layer and paste this here. And now I can invert it, and now I can change its color, right? But I wanted to do this because I can make a smart object, and I can use my bleed action, my ink bleed action. Display. Boom! And that's that, you know. I actually kind of liked it like this, but we can leave both. If I do like that, one on top of the other with a little bit of a halo, it actually looks pretty fire. This one, let's rasterize it and add a little bit of a blur to it just to make it a bit more soft. I think that works, bro. I think that works. And here we have like the original we did, on top of it the same with a little bit of blur, and on top of it like a distressed version, like that. And that's pretty neat. We could have it like that. What happens if I put it like that and start playing with the... Okay. Transparent 96 it is, yeah. Transparent 96. Let's tone down the paper texture a little bit. Put it on 40. 40 or more. I like to don't use like pure white for the background, because it gives you like that effect of the cutout of the paper pieces, you know, like that. Maybe we can put a curves adjustment on top of everything. Why is it in CMYK? I thought that it was looking weird. I don't know why I did it on CMYK. Image mode, RGB. Oh, there, because I had pressed like Control I to switch it to RGB, to CMYK. So now I can with more control, like that. That works. So this is one piece. I like it. Let's save it. And digital collage comp. Okay. And if I want to make it really crazy, what you can do here, guys, is, I think I taught you this on a tutorial sometime. It's, let's grab another texture, one of the other ones. You can use the free pack. There is a free version of this on my store. You can go grab that. It has a lot. The paid pack has a bunch of texture. There is like 200 files, but the free ones are the ones that I use the most. Like, actually, the ones in the paid pack are the most like weird ones, but they are nice for experimentation, right? But the ones that I use every day are the like the more subtle ones, you know. But if I want to make a crazy effect, I might want to grab, for example, one of these ones. Maybe this one. Right? And I'm going to grab the texture and I'm going to copy the screen, Control A, Control C to copy everything. Then I'm going to let go. And then I'm gonna go to here, put everything into a group. I'm gonna make a mask, and then enter the mask. And in the mask, I'm gonna paste the texture, right? Now, if I get out of the group, you can see how it applies, right? I'm gonna invert it, right? And it's not the same as applying the texture on top, because now it's using the texture to subtract information from the entire comp, right? So now I can go into the, by pressing the mask. Now if I Control M to do curves, and now I can really play with the texture, right? If I can make it really like aggressive, like that, right? Or the other way around, something like that. And when you scan something, kind of like a printer, or you scan something, usually you get with an effect that's similar to this. You know? And if I unlock this, I can move around the texture. Bigger, make it smaller. Something like that. I think it works. What happens if I do threshold? Ah. Oh my god. So simple. You gotta love it, you know what I mean? The threshold, it's so simple. So that's it, let's go. You know? Now let's try to make another one. Another one. Another one. Right? Oh, my back. Ah. Yesterday I went to acrobatics training and started like training again. Started training again, and I did a running front flip. Let's go. Can you see me? We also training, bro, to be a fucking ninja, you know? Like, this is actually not a joke. I'm actually not joking, you know? Threshold, bro. Threshold, it's like sugar. Sweet, but too much ain't good. Bro came in with the bars, you know? Like, he decided to take us to fucking church, bro. Let's go. Ah, I'm starting to geek out, bro. Like I try to record more on acrobatics training, because there are some dudes that are crazy. Casiel, it's crazy. He flies around like crazy, and bro is the most fit unk I know. No, I know fitter unks than me. I'm good for the medium, you know, but I know guys that are crazy. Yeah, I want to get up there, you know, like need to lock in on the training again. I was in the past 2 years, I've been in maintenance mode, but now I'm gonna lock in and try to, because I'm 33. I need to, by 40, I want to be in the best like form that I can, so I can like set up that already for my longer years, you know, like I want to arrive with that, with a nice base, you know, like, and I've been fit my entire life, but I want to like try to get the most that I can for and that makes sense also, you know. It's not like I'm gonna run an Ironman, but and also that kind of fit, not like like just chiseled and means, you know, which I want to be, but actually able to do stuff with my body, you know. And what I was going to do, oh yes, that's one of the effects. Yo, oh, why is it? Why is not taking the? Oh no. Oh, because it's there, bro. Yo. I love this effect for the stream. Brrr. Sorry, got distracted. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Let's grab the toolkit and let's keep playing with this shit. Now let's make one that's more about alignment and whatnot. So for this one, let's start with, and actually let's go back into this one and let me save this one. There is something about this one that I'm not loving. I can't put my finger on what it is. I think the texture, it's actually too much. Yeah, let's like that. Let me. Yeah, let's make like that. I think it needs less texture, you know. Yeah, let's save this one as that. Let's make them like more pure black and white. Because now for the next one, this one I'm gonna leave as is. But the next one, let's do it. Shit, bro. How do I? There. Next one, let's do it like so. Fuck. What? There. Next one, let's do it in this format. Right? Let's do something like this. Let's grab here. That's it. Nah. Hi, bro. Finally caught your live stream. Big fan of all the things you're doing for the community. Let's go. Oh, thank you for joining in, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it more earlier. I'm trying to do them earlier so more people can join in. I thought I was doing them at a fair time, but I guess not. So this time, if it's better for y'all, then better for me. You know what I mean? Like it's better for me that you're all here because we can keep it rolling more and have it be more dynamic, right? So let's go. Of course, I'm not gonna leave this like this. Let me put this another piece like that. Let's try to split the middle. Let's say this is a spread. Right. What the helly? What the helly? The texture is like that. Let's make it a bit less. Now this text. Right, and now I'm gonna try to come up with a just pretty intuitive like page layout, you know, something that you would kind of see maybe on a limited edition of something, right? We will have something like this. See, guys, right now I'm just trying to find what's the structure of the layout of the page and where all the information could just be placed. You know, we're gonna have a spot that's gonna be for the main body of text, and in that body of text we are trying to also find for that hierarchy, you know, trying to add elements and to add depth to the design, you know. But okay, the by adding the illuminations at the beginning, which is like the first letter or the first word, here I make like the first two words, you know, to give it a bit of more personality, you know, to that decision. Like the first two words or a chapter are gonna be highlighted in this sense. Maybe the bold, it's gonna be like 2 stories high, or make it really really pop, you know. So to add that accent in the gray of text, and the annotations are gonna be in this part of the margin, you know. And if you want to make it like really crazy, maybe we could add, I don't know, like a different way of making annotation. Here we are just testing, guys. We're just testing stuff, right? So maybe I grab that, and in the design, maybe I put it here in the middle, you know, like in the middle of the text. You know, yo, talent, let's go. How's everyone doing? Like that. And now let's grab, I'm looking for maybe these little numbers. Hey Mauro, maybe drop the trace paper. I literally don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, what is trace paper? You know, like, what is bro even saying at this point? Like, maybe I like all of these little annotations. Maybe we put them over here, right? Right, but maybe this one sits in this side of the page, right? And just to anchor it and to have it like sort of mean something, you know, to imply that this is a constant in the design system, you know, that this part of the grid like lives up to that part, you know. So we're trying to say that this is the grid, you know. And here, guys, I'm just making it up, you know. So maybe this goes towards here. Maybe I'm literally laying it out by eye. So maybe this one sits here, right? And let's grab another gray of text. Let's just grab the same because I don't give a fuck, you know. Let's grab the same and also put it here. Like, what the fuck? Put it here. And let's make it the same. And in this one, let's put it here. Right? You know what I mean, guys? And like that, we're just putting it together, bro. Actually, I'm just gonna do a little cheating now because I want to use an image. I say Do as I say and not as I do. You know what I mean? Just do as I fucking say, but don't do as I do, because right now I'm just gonna cheat a little bit because I want to make it look cooler. You know, I'm doing it for the plot. And right now I'm gonna do this. And in this system, like an image here would be so fire. Like an image there would cook so hard. So let's do it. Let's do it. And the fuck? Projects, assets, stock footage, photos. Here I'm just gonna grab whatever, you know what I mean. These are from dev to stock. I love those guys. We did a collaboration like a couple of days. This one, the one that I used for. Ooh! That's crazy. No, you can't use an image. No image. I'm using image just to show. That's actually hard, bro. That's hard, but not what I wanted to do. Funny mistake. Yeah, I get that. It is expensive, but when you're working with clients that you already can like invest, I think it's really important and really good to have a solid bank of images that you could use. You know, this one cooked. What I'm going to do is gonna copy the screen like this. I'm gonna paste it on top of everything. No. Screen print, Control B, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna save this. No, wait. I'm gonna put the screen as large as I can. Now I'm gonna capture the screen. And I'm gonna paste it, there. And now I'm gonna save it like that, because I want to save the guidelines, right? But it's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was something more like this, a bit more contained, you know. I wanted to make it like not so crazy, right? So maybe I do it like this, create a mask, and now I enlarge the image because I wanted to make it like more abstract, you know, like maybe something like this, right? And what happens if in my system, like the image is like this, right? And it goes in the bottom. What happens, you know? Like maybe that works, right? But again, let's go back at how it was because I liked it. You know what happens if I put a threshold? That's so hard, bro. Fuck, so easy. Oh my god. You know what I mean? And now let's just keep adding stuff, you know? And anatomy of an enigma. Ooh. That works. I mean, if I grab this, if I put it here. Shit. You know what I mean? And now, because we need to respect the original that we did, since we have already established that in our design system, in our grid system, right, sorry, we're gonna have this little annotations segment, right, which is gonna be up to here more or less, from here, right? So something like this. So it's nice that we should maintain that constant in some way. So let's put some annotations here, right? Maybe like that. And we could add like a different hierarchy level that's gonna break that sort of constant that we had, that we established, to give it a bit more emphasis. Like, we have all the notations, and since we have constant, we have variables, right? The constant is how we establish that it's going to be annotations in the margins of the page, but within that constant we can add a variable that's going to add tension within that hierarchy level, right? So you have hierarchy levels that add tension between each other. So you have the captions, you have the main grid of text, images, titles, headers, right? They all establish tension between each other. So maybe in the annotations you have, they are all the same hierarchy level, but in that hierarchy level you want to make one of the annotations more important. So you add like a semi-hierarchy within that hierarchy that adds even more depth to the piece, right? So maybe we have all the annotations, but there is one annotation here that's more important than the other annotations, right? So that's what you see it how we are adding like more like depth to the piece, right? And now let's add more text. Another one. Bro's going insane. Maybe let's add this, right? And in this one, maybe it has something like that. And maybe, I don't know, we use another image to make it extra spicy, you know, like an eye. You know what I mean? We just move like this. And maybe we make it inside a circle because we can. Like that. Let's drop a threshold over this. Create a clipping mask, right? So maybe this one. It's like this. And we need to find another number. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, because we need to sort of establish like the number sequence of the pages. So this one I'm gonna block it because I need to this. I'm gonna get rid of these 3 and I'm gonna put new numbers, and I'm gonna put these 2 here, and the 3 I'm gonna them. And the 3 I'm gonna put it over here. You know? And that way we sort of, you know what I mean, like the numbers on the page. Or maybe they are like super compressed, and that's interesting, right? What happens if this I move? Right, this works. overall. I like this little line with the annotation. I'm gonna put this here, I don't know, like that. And we need to add this kind of stuff, you know, like it goes in the middle of the page where it says like the title of the book. You know that sometimes it repeats at the bottom. So we capture that and we paste this and we put it in the middle, aligned in the middle bottom of the page, in both pages, you know, like that. You know what I mean, guys? This is so launchy. Yeah. This is like, bro, fucking launchy is where in my university you subscribe to, you're gonna go to typography, but you need to pick your class, you know, your class for typography. You had Longinoti, Gaia, and each teacher had a different methodology for training typography. And I went to Longinoti, which in my view, it's the best. And actually, it's the best also empirically and objectively. So yeah, but you know, I'm trying to teach grids in a way that's intuitive, like we did in Longi. You know, we learned through doing it a lot, you know. And I could just grab this, you know. What is this? And now let's make a super bold type of gesture of something that's really something really grand, you know. I feel like okay, you can maybe grab this. Right, let's put it on top of everything like that. Set it to multiply. You know, and you start adding layers upon layers. Ooh, these graphics are kind of cooking, you know. I love this micrographic shit. And you put it here. Maybe I grab, I don't know. Actually, let's grab here like this. And here I'm just trying to come up with an interesting composition. I'm not paying attention to what does this mean. Is this accurate? It doesn't matter at this point for this exercise. For what we're doing now, it doesn't matter. Right, and maybe we put, I don't know, some graphics over here, but we break it up and we put some on the other side because we are trying to establish that this is a system. So right, Where do you get these micrographics? Now, this is from the this sheet that I gave you on the assignment board, but this is for you to print, and do the collage from this, you know. I think that's it, guys. Like, if I keep playing around with this, I'll break it, you know. And I think that's it. You know, actually, let me put it. I have a mock-up for this that I did for a client. Actually, I could release this mock-up also. Projects, syndrome, sign assets, book, open book front. This is it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let me copy this, paste it. There. Let me grab all of this. Send the link to me privately through Discord. Need to look at it before seeing if you can share that. Are you sure that these are like public domain? Another piece. Let's put this here, and I can merge these two layers, and I have this. Copy, go to this one, and solid color, make it black, paste, invert. Now I have this, and now I can grab this, grab it, put it there. Ooh, it dropped almost like perfectly. Oh, it was almost the same format. What I need to do to fix this is here. I need to grab everything except this layer and just move it. Oh no, why? Why is it stretching also my thing? Oh, because it's grabbing the group. This is the templates. What is this? What is this? Okay, I need to grab this like that. Like that. And now I can drop this. The page color. There. Metal clips. Oh, this mockup is goated. I need to release this. But there it is. Right, we could even do it in sort of blue and have black. Yo, that's crazy. It actually makes sense with kind of what it says, you know. But I'm going a bit outside of the topic a little bit. This is not the assignment. There. And there you have a solid spread, you know, a solid experimentation for a spread. So try that, try the spread, try everything that I'm showing you. Let me save this just to have it. Diggy Doogie. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, guys. We can talk about whatever you want now. If you don't have any questions, I'm gonna be closing the stream. Let me know if you would like this mockup, the book. This one was so hard, bro. Loved it. We all should do the assignment and then do stuff like this, like going to out of bounds areas in a video game. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, that was kind of it. Oh, bro, this tires me so much. Is it going to be free? I might do a free version. For it. The thing, guys, is that I need to be, and this is me being completely real with you guys. I'm gonna try to release more free assets, but I think it's much more valuable the other kind of stuff that I'm giving away for free. You know, the tutorials, the dojo, you know what I mean? I feel that knowledge, it takes a bit more to acquire it, you know, but it's actually what it's going to allow you to make money off of graphic design and then get the assets, you know what I mean? So I rather the commodity, the thing that saves you time, be paid, but the thing that allows you to learn for real, be free, you know, because the school that I went is public, it's free. I don't need it to. I learned design in it for free, you know, public school, one of the best in the world for design, and it was free. So it makes sense for me that the knowledge is free, but the tool and the thing that it's a commodity that comes after the learning, be paid. And it's the thing that I use to sustain myself, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the mockup is gonna save you time, right? And it's gonna make your work better if your work is already good, you know? So it's much more of use to you when you can pay for it already. Like when paying $10, $15 for a mockup, it's not really an issue, you know what I mean? There are certain tools that are a lot more usable, and like the texture packs and a lot of stuff like that are nice to use in any step of your like journey. But some tools, I don't think it's that use to you, you know what I mean? Like once you make something cool, then you can use the mockup and maybe you can copy it and it's no biggie, you know? But at least that's how I think about it. The thing that's gonna allow you to work as a designer and to learn for real, I want to give it away for free, right? And the commodity, that thing that saves you time, it's paid. It's my product. It's what I sell, you know? So yeah, but I might do a bit, maybe one for free or whatever. Filter styles in Photoshop for shirts. What do you mean? What do you mean, like filter styles for shirts? There was one question. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. But somebody asked at the beginning something about the followers and getting work. Are we going to use images for next assignment, or it's gonna be something else? I'm thinking about what will be the next assignment. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of what we're going to do, because I need some of y'all to try more this assignment. I might extend it for 1 week more, because this assignment you really need to try it out, because the next one is gonna be a lot harder if this one it's not really practiced, you know. I want to make it look for t-shirts like halftone or something. Yeah, there is a bunch already of stuff for that. Have you checked Doron? Like Doron, the Dieter plugin. The Dieter plugin from Doron, it's crazy. I will, however, make a tutorial on show you how to do it. Oh yeah, the doc we were making with Claude about client onboarding. When's that coming? I'm practicing with that because I'm still trying to use it, you know, because I share the document with some of the Discord people. I was trying to make like a some board of like on how to onboard clients, you know, for some people that are maybe just starting out. And you know, when you get a client, it's every time it's like you get nervous, because every time it's like you need to start again and you start thinking. And that part of the process, the sooner you get it streamlined in a way that every time you get a new client, it's the same script every time, you know, not script in the exact words, but your game plan, you know, your game plan when you get a new client. First, you need to know if it's a fit, right? Like if the budget is cool, but for that you need to know the project, right? To know the scope. So I want to build something that you can read, so you get in each step of the client onboarding process, know what to look for, right? If you what is it that you want to know in the first interview, right? Then how you present your quota, your work, for be able to charge what you should charge for your work also, right? But it's all stuff that I'm testing, you know. I'm testing it as I go, and once I'm comfortable with it, I'll drop it, you know. I dropped a preliminary version that I did with Claude on the Discord, but it's all I came up with everything and used Claude to systematize it, because it was like a quick sketch, you know, a quick sketch of the idea that I had that it could work. I have, but all too similar. Like the pattern that you would say. Yeah, I would rather teach you guys how to do it. Like how to do it, because then it depends on how are you going to print the t-shirt, you know, because maybe the t-shirt is gonna have a half tone because it's gonna be produced on a screen print, you know what I mean? So the way in which you're gonna print also matters, you know. I have a video on my YouTube channel. Like if you go to my YouTube channel, it's Nike. It's not Reebok. It's Nike. You can ask for help on the Discord channel, bro. Like I don't do like one-on-ones on the Discord, but you can drop it there and maybe we can help you out. I had a video on something like that. The Travis Scott that I did. This one. When I went to see Travis Scott. Really good, but and this was the composition, printing texture in an overlay mode, and with this one black and on a bit is like really vibrant colors, right? Like neatly separated. Let me see what I show you. This is the final piece, my guy. So something like this, my guy. Now let's just throw it on the mockup and see how it looks. But I'm really digging the result. Now let's just save it. And this one was really good. You go all the way, it all disappears. So if I turn it just a bit up, you can see how all the pure black pixels disappear. Yeah, I need to go back to the low taper. Actually, I'm having that haircut, but I'm just having at the edges, right? went to really get it again. Alt-click here in the. But yeah, that one, and yeah, that was the one. Yeah, that was the one. I hadn't made a video for the Linkin Park one that I made. Yeah, it's the same concept. It's really not that hard. You need to set up a pattern to make it. But in all my videos, I show a technique similar. I'll make a video actually for the specific technique, but I need to think about it. How would it add anything? Because there are a bunch of tutorials on that effect. Yeah. So, okay, guys. We're done. Thank you everyone for joining in. Terrific stream. I think I like this time of day to do it better. Let me know what you think, guys. Yeah, this one, sorry, the Nike has 2 Nikes. I love this sweatshirt. Let's go. El maldito crack de Photoshop. Saludo, papá, te admiro, bocha. Design Shio, let's go, my guy. Bro, when you coming? ¿Cuándo venís a Buenos Aires? Ah, no pasa nada, bro. Yeah, I'll show you how to make some yourself for the halftone. You might now literally, or you need to adapt with what's available. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just closing, bro. Estoy terminando el stream. But we might do some interviews in Spanish, guys. Sorry for the switch up, but I'm from Argentina. I want to do some content in Spanish also. Sí, cuando vengas tenemos que hacer una conversación, boludo. Un stream, algo en español. Estaría bueno. Hay que hacerlo. But yeah. We're finishing up. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Thank you for stopping by, and see you in the next one. Drop by the Dojo. Did you make the paper textures yourself? Yeah, I scoured the real world and find them, and then did the scans. But yeah, let's go. So perfect, guys. Glad you. Thanks for hopping in. Love you all. See you in the next one. Streams all Wednesdays. Same hour now. It's gonna be this time of day. I feel like it works better. Not Spanish classes, bro. I'm gonna do the streams in Spanish because it's my main language, and I want to interview people and talk with people that I have near me. You know what I mean? And yeah, also for content, we people that learn Spanish need to learn English to sort of be able to connect with the world. But it's time that English-speaking people learn Spanish. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's go, bro. Thank you for stopping by. See you in the next one. Stop by the Dojo, do the assignment, learn design, become a design ninja, train hard, train your body, train your mind, read books, don't read books, watch doom scroll. Bye-bye.